Hey guys, welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Sam Basher, and while we're all recovering from Infinity War, Marvel decided to throw us a bone and drop the official second trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Thank God, because things were getting dark. Anywho, before we dive into the quantum realm with our itty-bitty friends, here's your spoiler warning for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Anywho, play the trailer.
So, how long have you been Ant-Man again?
Not long. It just sort of happened.
I wish I could fight bad guys like you.
I seem to mess it up almost every time.
Hooray, Cassie's back, man. I know it'd be a long shot, but I'd love to see a future version of the next generation of heroes in the MCU. Maybe we could get a glimpse at her as her hero persona, like in the comics. Usually she has a couple different names like Ant Girl, but my personal favorite is Stature, and she's usually got a cool costume. I mean, I wouldn't mind. But moving on, we see Ant-Man is back in San Francisco, his home turf, and we know that he's under house arrest thanks to the arrangement that he set up with the US government after the events of Civil War. Found that out in Infinity War. I'm hoping that this is the first scene between Cassie and Scott, just one-on-one, and I'm excited to see him strive to be a better papa in this movie. I think what Cassie is referring to here about being Ant-Man again could be a reference to Civil War, and this could be a cute scene where he recounts the airport fight, or possibly he's just talking about this specific movie that he's in right now. All I know is that Scott using a flatbed truck as one of those one-knee scooter things you see at Disneyland is one of my new favorite scenes. Why would he need to use that? I thought possibly maybe a leg injury would prevent him from running after that car, but as far as I could tell, his legs are fine. Maybe being at that size makes it harder to move fast, so why not get a little assistance? Then the following shot is of Scott catching up with Walton Goggins' character, Sonny Birch, in his Escalade. Now, Sonny Birch is from the comics, if you didn't know. He usually is associated with Cross Technologies, which we are aware of thanks to the first Ant-Man movie. If you remember the villain, Yellow Jacket, his real name was Darren Cross, and he was attempting to rename Pymtech Cross Technologies. Also, fun fact, Sonny Birch has a very small role in the comics. He just did a 4-issue run in an Iron Man story where he attempted to gain control of the patent behind the Iron Man costume and recreate it and sell it. So maybe that story is being, applied to Pym-Tech and the Ant-Man suit in general. Maybe he's trying to steal that building so he could steal all the tech goodies for profit, maybe. Also, weird that they edited out the Cadillac logo on that Escalade's grill. That car was in the first trailer and you could see the logo there. Maybe they got in trouble. Not a super interesting Easter egg. Next clip.
Maybe you just need someone watching your back. Hi. Like a partner.
Boy, I love this scene. Love that Ant-Man really has to try to stop this car. He really skids the truck to a stop, and you also get that comedic element of no one noticing inside the coffee shop that Ant-Man's just sliding down the street. More like a giant man, am I right? It's not a joke, that's what his name is. But most importantly, let's check out the Wasp's takedown of all these evildoers inside this SUV. This must be one of the cars following Sonny Birch's, since they're all different henchmen based on the other car's lineup. Let's all celebrate whenever we get an awesome takedown inside of a moving car. And I'm getting some serious Deadpool vibes during this scene, specifically the SUV fight scene we got in the beginning of Deadpool where Wade is hunting for Francis. It's an amazing scene. Now the final scene of this clip looks to be a snippet of the lobby fight scene from the previous trailer, and boy is Evangeline Lilly looking like a badass. Next clip.
Dr. Pym, I actually heard what happened to you. You opened up the quantum realm. That's when this crazy creepy ghost who walks through walls and stuff. Stole your tech. And now she wants to take over the world or whatever.
Luis is back. The MCU is saved. What a great character to give us a wrap up as to what's going on. Didn't really give us any details, and I'm still confused, but hey, I love him. This scene does give us a hint as to what Luis and the gang have been up to since the first Ant-Man movie. Notice all those security cameras in the background and that keypad guarded lock. Interesting. Well, it looks like our guys have gone straight and turned to helping people protect their valuables instead of stealing them. Good boys. They have a pretty fun business name also that's teased throughout this trailer, but I'll come back to that in just a second because I want to. Here we also have Luis saying that he knows what happened to Hank Pym, and the next shot we see is of a big green button and Hank Pym inside that ship we saw in the first trailer. And I'm guessing that button is inside that ship. I mean, of course, if you're a scientist, you gotta put a big important button inside your ship to make it go. What are you, an idiot? Now, based on this setup, it looks like this is just moments before he heads off, possibly alone, into the quantum realm. Hank Pym, no, you're too old to do this. The next shot we get is of the ship flying through some rainbow golden golden energy, which seems reminiscent of the Doctor Strange magic, specifically the daggers that Caecilius and his goons are using to attack Doctor Strange. But also this energy can be seen behind the ship before it takes off. So notice that up in that tube, and then also it pops up later on, but I'll get back to that in just a second. This Pym tech could play a very important role in this movie, so keep your eyes open. Also notice that when the ship flies through this energy, Hank is definitely alone flying the ship. There could be someone in the back seat, but it looks like he's flying solo. Perfect. Next, we see him donning a suit and heading out into the quantum realm alone. Now, whatever this material around him is, I'm not sure, but this is obviously the start of a rescue mission for Janet Van Dyne, aka the original Wasp, aka Hank's wife, who was lost in the quantum realm a few decades ago. This realm does look, similar to the way that the dark dimensions energies moved around in Doctor Strange during that Dormammu fight. Not so much of a fight, more of a bargain, but you get it. But also notice this, that rainbow golden hue of the energy we saw earlier is in the background of this entire scene. That energy's popping up again. Interesting. Next, we get a name drop for the crazy, creepy ghost that stole Hank's tech. Now, it almost sounds like the quantum realm opened and Ghost was set free from the realm based on how fast Luis is talking. Just wanted to bring that up. Some people tweeted me asking about that, but I don't think that's how it all went down. My guess that this is just the timeline of events that Luis knows them as and he's just explaining them, or it could just be how the trailer's edited. I don't think Ghost was specifically hiding in the quantum realm. But I think maybe Ghost was exposed to the energies from the quantum realm. Now, who is Ghost? Getting a little ahead of myself there. Well, Eric Voss, great and powerful, did explain who she is in the first Ant-Man breakdown, but quickie explanation, she's usually a he in the comics and usually an Iron Man villain, but Ghost can phase through objects and he's usually an industrial saboteur. Found that descriptor online and I dug it, not gonna take credit for it. We even see her using those phasing abilities to get through a door, but pay attention here. It almost looks like you see multiple versions of her pushing the door open a bunch of different ways. Maybe her specific abilities have her tapping into the quantum realm and you see all the possible ways she could have gotten through that door and her body picked the easiest one by phasing through it. Oh boy, this idea is a little bit too big for me, but maybe something similar is happening, but let's keep going. The next scene is of her fighting Ant-Man and her kicking Scott through a wall, so I'm guessing whatever happened to her enhanced her physiology. But also notice that we get the same clip from the first trailer of Ghost in a chamber with, you guessed it, the same energy we saw in Pym's lab and in the quantum realm. My guess is that this is some sort of experimental radiation for Pym particles, or possibly radiation harnessed from the quantum realm and she's getting a big old dose of it. Or maybe she's letting off all that energy in that room and she's trying to be contained. Either way, Ghost got a hold of it and then either her experiment went poorly or she used it as a weapon because it ends up ripping apart this warehouse. Notice all the energy that's being used in this explosion. Ruh-roh. Next clip.
Who would have believed that in your hour of need, you would turn to us?
Not me.
Because we robbed you. Do you remember? That's us.
The only chance we've got is both of you. Ant-Man and the Wasp teaming up.
Here's another clip of these agents cornering Hank and Hope in this field, and based on their outfits, this is probably the same day as they're meeting with Luis and his company. Notice the sweater vests on Hank in both scenes. Now, why are they hunting them down? Why so many people? Possibly because Scott Lang has ditched his GPS locator. I'll come back to that in a second. And they're looking for him, so they're going to his, main contacts. Maybe they stole another building and people are starting to get a little peeved. Or maybe these are private sector security people who work for Sonny Birch. Fun ideas here, just saying. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Either way, at some point, the Pyms are going to need some help from, here's the name I teased, XCon Security Solutions. Get it? Because they are all in jail. They rob people before, specifically Hank Pym, remember? Anywho, the name of this company is teased all over the place, on their t-shirts, on their mugs, on the computer screens, and it's spelled X-Con. Next, we get a shot of Ghost glitching, which if I were to guess, isn't making her feel too good. She looks dope though, gotta be honest, that's one of the best costumes in the MCU. Also love to point out the twist on the line we've heard over and over again in these types of movies. The only chance to save the world is you, classic, but in this movie, it's you too, because they gotta work together. The next clip we get is of Hope, a bit teary-eyed, and based on the previous trailer, this looks like this could be the same room where that Quantum Realm Explorer vehicle from earlier is being housed, and possibly this is where Hank is going to enter the Quantum Realm. I'm pointing this out mainly because remember that giant Duracell battery from the last trailer? Well, there it is again in the background. With that in mind, why would she be upset? Maybe she's seeing someone she thought had been lost years ago. Maybe this scene is when we finally get to see Janet for the first time. Finally, we get Wasp doing an awesome takedown in that same lobby from earlier, with Ant-Man name dropping both of them. How fun. Next.
Follow my lead.
She seems more intense.
The team is on the move. Ant-Man and the Wasp look to be going after some baddies in a hotel, possibly leading to an awesome kitchen fight scene that we saw in the first trailer and in this trailer. By the way, that's a lot of salt to spill. That's a whole heck of a lot of bad luck. Next, we get a very confusing scene. This is most likely the ant from the first movie that became embiggened after the, epic fight scene at the end of the movie, and is now a pet for Cassie. It's playing electric drums, and it's wearing headphones, and most importantly, it's got a tracker bracelet on its southernmost leg. Now, I have two theories here. One, this is a dream sequence. That makes the most sense. Scott is maybe feeling cooped up in the house, or maybe on a drug trip, and he just sees himself as an ant. Number two, that this is actually happening. An ant is playing drums in the house, and the reason for wearing the bracelet is because Scott put it on the ant so that he could slip out and fight crime, but how could it play drums? The last clip I want to show you is of Scott diving off of an ant to avoid a seagull. But notice in the background, looking awful blue, don't it? Much like the San Francisco Bay. Possibly this is when Scott jumps into the water and then embiggens himself in front of the ferry. Next.
You go low, I'll go high.
I have wings. Why would I go low?
Here we see the Wasp flying into the kitchen area once again from the hotel lobby, so it's fair to assume that she's about to kick multiple asses. Next we get a glimpse of Ant-Man floating in the Quantum Realm. Now this could be a flashback to when he was floating around in the first movie, but maybe this is happening in this film. But pay attention here when something flies past him rather quick. If you pay very close attention, you slow it down frame by frame, you'll notice that this object looks to have a head and a set of wings. Sort of like who's been hanging out down here for quite some time, but I don't remember her moving that quickly. Maybe hanging out in the Quantum Realm has made her a little bit faster. Next, we get another creepy shot of Ghost walking towards camera, possibly from the scene where she kicks Scott through the wall, and then a shot of Ant-Man and the Wasp coordinating attack from within the same room as the Quantum Realm ship. The next shot is of Wasp kicking the crap out of Ghost. So maybe this is the final, or at least one of the final showdowns in this movie. Maybe it happens inside of this room. Hopefully this isn't the reason why Hope is crying. I don't want Ghost to hurt anyone I like. Also wanted to say that my guess is that this room is within the building that everyone's playing hot potato with. The next clip is the one we should all be focusing on, and it's of Ant-Man and the Wasp taking down a soldier. Now there's a lot to notice here, like how this is actually the older design of the Ant-Man costume. Interesting from the first movie. Why would Scott be wearing that? Also, the uniform of the soldier looks to be similar to the uniforms of the soldiers that Ant-Man fought in the past, if you remember from that footage that Darren Cross was able to get in the first Ant-Man movie. So maybe this is Hank? Interesting. So maybe this is a flashback. So if that's true, who's the Wasp? Well, notice the color scheme of the costume, it's not so much like the present day costume, so this is probably Michelle Pfeiffer. Oh, how fun. This scene, though, will make me very excited when I see it on the big screen. Next.
We're gonna die. I don't wanna die. We didn't die!
Hey, what'd I miss?
We were just tiny.
All right, coming to the end of this trailer, we see Ghost phasing through an SUV and taking down a motorcyclist with a gun. So maybe there's multiple parties in this venture? Maybe Ghost is a solo enemy and Walton Goggins is on his own little mission. We're all trying to steal a building, we get it. That's the rat race, right? Everyone's hustling. But anyways, next we see a bunch of cars flipping. One of these shots is the same as the previous trailer, but this new one looks to be of a car flipping down the famous Lombard Street in San Francisco, with Luis and Wasp avoiding bricks and rubble as it crashes around them. And we're left with Scott popping up in the back of the car asking what he missed. We then get our awesome title card and we're out, but we are left with one more fun scene. Let's play it.
I was partners with Hank on a project called Goliath.
How big did you get?
My record, 21 feet. You?
65 feet.
65.
If you two are finished comparing sizes,
65.
What a fun way to end this trailer. Here we have Lawrence Fishburne as Bill Foster, aka Goliath from the comics, hence the code name for their project being Goliath, which seems to be a project that probably meant they were making super tall soldiers, maybe. I will say it is pretty cute when they're comparing sizes, weird sentence. Bill Foster is most well known for being a scientist in the comics, friend of Hank Pym, and Goliath, the size-changing hero that usually just gets bigger. He was also Giant Man at one point, but I'm not sure we're gonna get a tall version of Billy in this movie, but if we did, like in the flashback scene, I'd be fine with it. Finally, we get this shot of Ant-Man rising out of the bay next to the ferry that Walton Goggins is using to escape with the shrunken building. One final note, shout out to the superhero-y epic version of It Takes Two. I'm a fan. But that's it, kids. Here's my question for you, too, actually. How do you think Ghost stumbles upon these powers? Also, why would an ant wear headphones? It's bugging the crap out of me. Let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know if I missed anything in the comments or on Twitter at Sam Basher. Like this video, share, and subscribe for more content. We got a lot. I'm Sam Basher. If you want to, you can check out my podcast, Only Stupid Answers. I talk about nerdy stuff all the time. And I'll see you guys next time.